Okay. Ananda, when any such monks and nuns or white-robed donor, meaning the lay people who keep the 5 precepts, normally they would wear white robe when they see the Buddha, okay, to symbolize their purity and devotion to the Buddha. They are almost like nuns, it's just a lesser degree. They uphold some precepts, like the 8 precepts, 10 precepts, the 8 vegan way, or the 5 precepts. They call them white robe lay people. At the Dhamma ending age, who can rid their minds of greed and lust, hold the Buddha's pure precepts, and in the Bodhimanda make the vows of the Bodhisattva, etc., etc. I already read that. So Ananda asked how people will be able to stabilize themselves in Bodhimanda, meaning meditation on the enlightened way. So the Buddha say you have to find a cow dung. You have to first find a powerful white ox in snowy mountains, and one that eats the lush and fertile, sweet-smelling grasses of the mountains. Since such an ox also drinks only the pure water of the melted snow river water, its excrement will be very fine. They can take that, mix with the sandalwood and plaster the ground with it, etc., etc. There's some more work to do, but I don't think you need it. I am thinking whether or not I read all this to you. Because you have to find also incense, and you have to, because the Buddha say, if it's not in the snowy mountains, then the ox excrement will stink and cannot be used to smear on the ground. In that case, select a level place, dig down 5 feet or so, and use that yellow earth. Also good. Have to be 5 feet under the surface of the earth. Then the soil there will be pure. I don't think I can recommend all this to you because you only want to rely on master power to go to the 5th level. And I think more than that I can't ask you. India is a different place. When people devoted to the Buddha, they really do. And they go to all lengths. And they really want to and they want to become a Buddha and all that. You just want to sit here, listen to me talking with the calendar and clap and happy, go home, do your business as usual and pray to Master, and that's all you can do, I think. And eat vegan, of course. But the rest I don't think, yeah. I don't think you're that eager to become Buddha, the way that the Buddha recommended. If whatever you want to do, if you want to become truly a Buddha and Bodhisattva. I don't think I can ask much of you like that. Or can I? Yes? Yes? No? You really want to find a white ox in the Himalaya mountain and smear their dungs on your ground and the wall and then sit there for 3 weeks on end? Can you do that? Yeah, forget it. I don't need to ask. Okay? 3 weeks no sleep. Of course you can, I know that. I ask you if I can ask you to do that. You say, yes, you can, Master, of course. Okay. I have to confess to you, maybe I also cannot do that. Okay? I have different way to reach whatever heavens I want to reach. And this is for the Indian, okay? The one who rely on the Buddha and have to do this and that. In India, we can do that. In your country, maybe to find a white ox already difficult, yeah? Or to dig under the ground, 5 feet underground to find the yellow earth, a lot of them, enough to make a platform for you and make the wall around you to sit there 3 weeks without sleeping. Just to talk about 3 weeks without sleeping, and no ox, no whites, no nothing yet. Can you? All right, then I don't read any further. Oh my God. A lot of work here. Nevertheless, just pretend that you have done all the preliminary preparation, you know, with the white ox done and with the sweet eating grass and all that first, okay? And just pretend that you have done all that. And just pretend that you could go without sleep for 3 weeks. Okay, now I read further. And have you burned a lot of incense, etc., etc. And then the 4 sides of the wall you should suspend flags and flowers, and within the room where the platform located should arrange on the 4 walls images of the third come ones and bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, if you can find all their images. Okay? That is pretend that you already done all the things that you say you can or not can. And then you have to do all that as well. All the Buddha, Bodhisattva on all your walls. And then in the most prominent place, display image of Vairocana Buddha. I don't know if you can find that. And then Shakyamuni Buddha, that you can find. Maitreya Buddha, you can. Amitabha Buddha, you can. In all the magnificent transformation of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, as well, if you can find them. To the left and right, place the Vajra treasury bodhisattvas. Beside them display the Lord Chakra and Brahma, Akshurma, Blue Diga, as well as Kundali and Brukuti and all 4 heavenly kings with Vinayaka to the left and right of the door. All this because you don't find a living master. You study with his disciple or some later generation disciples. If they still have the instruction in their heart to tell you, then because the living master, meaning the Buddha is not there anymore, you have to do such and such and such and such and such and such and such, then you can also become enlightened, and the Buddha will appear to you and bless you to be enlightened. That is that. So the living master is easier way for you, if you can find one. There's some more. So many Buddha image and Bodhisattva and heavenly being already. Some more coming, in case you want to try. Yeah. Then suspend 8 mirrors in the space around the platform, so that they are exactly opposite the mirrors on the platform. Can you remember all that? No. This will allow the reflections in them to interpenetrate ad infinitum. And during the first 7 days, bow sincerely to the first come ones of the 10 directions. Every day, bow, non-stop. To the great bodhisattvas and to the names of the arhats, if you know all of them, okay? If you can find their names in any sutra or by any chance. But that was just almost immediately, a few hundred years after Buddha died, after the Buddha Nirvana. Now it's too far away already. It's very difficult to trace down all these names of Buddha, Bodhisattva, even if you want to. So a living master is the best, okay? Find one. It's just because the living master are the transmitter directly of enlightenment and blessing. After the living master is gone, the energy diminished as days go by, years go by. So you have to find the living pole who still holds this energy of enlightenment and blessing direct from heaven to give it to you. Only if you don't have a lighter that you have to rub the stones together or do whatever, you know, very hard in order to make fire. If you have a match And lighter, do you still need to do that? No, find the matchbox, find the lighter, okay? Chuck, quick, immediately. You can light the candle with it, make fire with it. Okay. But nevertheless, I read it all to you. I cut some already. It's very cumbersome and a lot of work to do. I just read some parts so that you know already that it's almost impossible. Yeah, you want to become Buddha when you don't have a guru. Well, that's how you have to do. And it's not the end of it yet, okay? That's the first 7 days you have to do that. Now you don't know the name of all the arhats, you know, the name of all his disciples who has become arhat. You don't know them anymore, okay? You don't know the name of Vairocana Buddha, for example. You don't even know where to find his image. At that time when the Buddha almost just leave for nirvana, they still have all this with his disciples or descendants of disciples. So, throughout the 6 periods of the day and night, continually recite the mantra as you circle, ambulate the platform. Practice the way, this method, with a sincere mind, reciting the mantra 108 times as a stretch. Not just the first day, but continue. All the 6 periods of the day, doing this and that. And then, during the 2nd week, direct your intent by making the vows of a bodhisattva. The mind should never be cut off from them. In my Vinaya, I have already taught about vows in some of his teaching. He taught about how to make vows to become a bodhisattva, okay? If your intention to become a bodhisattva, how much vow you have to make, how resolute you have to make up your mind with. That's why he didn't mention here again, the bodhisattva vows, okay? During the 3rd week, one holds the Buddha's mantra, Bodhala, for 12 hours at a time. Can you do that? Non-stop, okay? With a single intent. And on the 7th day of the 3rd week, the third come once of the 10 directions will appear simultaneously. Some of you don't do anything like that, and you see the Buddha, the Jesus, even just by sitting after eating the dinner from the public kitchen. So, having transmission from a living master is the quickest way. The lazy people can do it, yeah? I'm not talking about you, I mean any lazy people. I don't mean you're lazy, sorry. Don't mean to offend you. You're good, very diligent. So they will appear to you if you do all that for 3 weeks long, non-stop, single-mindedly, bowing, reciting, meditating, praying, and incense, and etc., and all these formula at one time. If you can't even afford to do that in our busy lifestyle nowadays, so the Buddhas will come, and their light will be mutually reflected in the mirrors and will illumine the entire place. And they will rub one on the crowns of one's head. Some of you never know anything like this, don't even heard about it, and still have a lot of Buddha's lights you see everywhere. Yeah? Some of you. So, all right, then you know it. If one cultivates this samadhi in the bodhimanda, then even in the Dharma ending age, one can study and practice until one's body and mind are as pure and clear as Vaidurya. I guess something very pure. What is that in Sanskrit? Vaidurya, you know? Any Indian people? As pure as Vaidurya.
Vaidurya is a stone, Master.
A stone?
Yeah, it's a stone, butt stone.
What kind
Indian butt stone.
Oh, is it clear and transparent? It's like crystal, something like that?
Yes.
Okay, got that. Thank you.
Mature state of a diamond.
Ah, okay.
After the Vaidurya, it becomes a diamond.
Oh, yeah. All right. That's cool. You want to ask something so urgently?
When I was listening to you at first talk about the different Buddhas and the way to become a Buddha and to go through all of these different rituals. And I was going to say that what you've said, a living master, having you as a master, we can bypass all of these rituals because we can't get to those points anyway. If you can't find all of this, is
no,
like
you don't have time
for loose ends. But we have you as a living master, and everybody needs a living master to achieve what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And so that was the point. But then you started touching on these things and cleared that up.
All right. Thank you for your opinion. A valuable advice. Thank you. Yeah, that's what it is. Yes. The Indian people, they know this inside out. Every sutra, every book of Vedas emphasize always living master, living master, living master.
In those days, the gurus are very few. You can count on fingers. That is why all these procedures are available. Right now, we have the Himalayas is right here. So
Except no snow. All right, love. All right, love. I was wondering why you Indian come all the way to Taiwan to find your guru.
that's the quality matter, master, not quantity.
We have it in India, yes, okay. We don't want to say any comparison, okay? This might be offending. All the gurus should be respected. It depends on your level, you know? If you are not ready to a higher dimension or teaching, then you cannot just blame any master.
Master, I was told by the holy man that I met, he told me that in his own life, he was fortunate enough to meet 5 enlightened masters. And then when I just spontaneously said, can I meet 5 too? And he closed his eyes and he said, now they're gone, there's only one. He told me very clearly, there's only one.
Oh.
One, meaning there's only one enlightened, fully enlightened master in the world.
Where is that?
I guess you.
Oh, wow. Wow. Whoever told you that, I want to ask him where. Well, thanks to your master, huh? He is a good one. All right. If you believe that, it's good for you. If you have proof for that, good for you. If you don't have proof for that, don't blame me. Huh?
My previous master knows you, master.
Who?
My previous master, whom we discussed with you, Brahmarshi Patriji's Pyramid Spiritual Societies. He is a Buddha's meditation master.
Oh.
He knows, and I still meet him whenever he comes to USA. He stays in my house.
He knows me?
You know him, he knows you.
Oh.
So you have seen his picture and you told him who he was. And so last time when I met him and he said, myself and my wife, these two are Supreme Master Ching Hai's favorites.
Oh.
And he actually asked me to invite you to India. And actually, they every year from December 21st to December 31st, every year they do a group meditation with 100,000 people.
Oh.
So they construct pyramids at the scale of 5,000 to 6,000 people can sit inside. He actually asked me to invite you to India. So every 3 months, they actually publish Supreme Master Ching Hai's vegan diet and all those things in their magazines.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Wow. Thank him a lot and tell him that I really, really appreciate his invitation. It's official now, she said. That official now, Indian goes vegan, okay? All right, please tell your master that I pay respect and I thank him.
Thank you, Master.
Yes. Okay. All right. There are so many masters. It's easier for you to choose now.
They actually believers of the cosmic energy which is produced through pyramid, like Giza pyramid. So all the disciples, most of them, whoever has little bit money, they build a small pyramid. Because the cosmic energy is built at 45 degrees.
Yes.
That's the reason even Giza pyramid is giving energy to the earth.
Yes. That's why they built the pyramid before. I have told in one of my lecture that there's a meditation place.
Right.
People just thinking, don't know what, but I say...
No, if you sit inside a pyramid and do meditation, achieve samadhi in
More concentration.
quickly.
Just physically speaking, it's more protective.
Right, yes.
Yes. And whatever negative power we disperse out,
Right.
in this shape. Yes. And I told a long time ago, I don't know if it's recorded or not, that because some people ask me, what's a pyramid is for? Is it a tomb or something? I said, no, in the old time, people built it just to meditate. It's a meditation place. Now it proved it. All right, okay. So do what you can to help yourself. But I don't think that the London people can build pyramid into their little apartment. It's very expensive in London, for example, Paris, It's enough to put furniture inside and you zigzag your way through it.
Yeah, we're more worried about the soul level, not the body level. That's why you are here for us, Master.
All right,
Thank you.
good. Thank you for your valuable information.
Thank you, Master.
That just confirmed what I said before. The pyramid is people built it for meditation. Everybody thinks it's a tomb or what is it inside. Nobody even know up till now what for. For meditation purpose, yeah? Number one is very good concentration inside, energy, okay? Also the cosmic energy can help you, okay? It's one pointed like that, yeah? Okay, and then number two is that in the desert it's so hot. The pyramid is very thick, the wall diameter, very thick, and it's so cool inside, as if you stay in a normal.
The basic reason pyramids were constructed is Egyptians believe that the person who dies, they will be reborn again. That's why they use it to mummify the body and put it inside the pyramid.
The body will be born again?
Yeah, they actually wrap it in a chemical cloth and put it inside
but that
pyramid.
is just for the...
Yeah, their belief is the person will take rebirth and use the same body. They use pyramids for that purpose.
No, that's what people suspect. But it's just for meditation before, okay? And whatever, they wrap them in silk or in a mummy kind of substance, it's their tradition, just to keep it, to preserve the body. Just like we nowadays, we want to keep the body in a coffin and bury it in some special place and build a little memorial, just so that we remember. Because we all want to be like eternally in life, so they do anything they can just to preserve that concept. Yes?
I wanted to ask a question about what you were reading before, if that's okay. About when the Buddha was talking about how to get enlightenment without a master, the cow and the poop and the no sleep. Did he mean, I wondered if he meant to say that like literally as in doing these things will actually, or did he mean it more like a parable as far as like the impossibility of finding enlightenment without a master? Maybe
so also, yeah? But he really mean it. He really tell all it graphically, okay? But also, it's possible only because his disciple is still there. It's the final age of his Dharma teaching. Not now anymore. Not after 2,700 years of his nirvana. At that time, Buddha just passed away, final ending age about 500 years after he passed away. That's in other sutra he say that. Is for him, for his teaching lineage, end at 300, 500 years after. But not now anymore, okay? Even if you want to do it, it might not work. You don't find these pure monks and nuns who still having this blood lineage in them anymore to transmit it to you, however little diluted is still there. After the master died, 300 or 500 years maximum, no more. That's why every sutra emphasizes living master. Otherwise, the Buddha was there and he tell people, okay, you just go and do that, no need me, no need the Buddha, okay? No, they all come and study with the Buddha. And he says it's very rare you can find the Buddha, yeah, and the teaching when he's still alive. This is for his descendants, disciple, who still have pure, if they're pure in the precepts, and they had already, the lineage is still going, not as strong as when the Buddha alive, because they transmitted like from the first successor, yeah, from the Buddha, and then to the second successor of that successor, and the third successor of the successor, and so on and so forth. Just like after the 10th Guru of the Sikh passed away, well, before that, he said no more Gurus of the Sikh, only study the scripture, because at that time, that's the best he can offer to his disciples, because he knows the ninth master has gone, he's the last one, and there's no more bloodline, no more spiritual bloodline to pass on to the next generation. So he said, just study the scripture. That's better than nothing. In the scripture, at least it's mentioned Nam, mentioned precept, mentioned purity, mentioned God, devotion. The people who can follow that and attain some level of understanding of Godhood, and then maybe they're lucky they find living master. Okay? Yeah. Otherwise, the guru cannot cheat people and say, okay, after I die, my wife, my son, his son died anyway in the battle. Because at that time, the king of that country and the people who believe in the king's religion at that time, chasing the master and harass them no end. And, in the battle, his sons also die. So even in that lineage, it's supposed to be that his family member inherit the mantle. But to him, he has no more sons anyway. And he knows there's no more gurus in that lineage to uphold the continued bloodline of the spiritual practice. So he says, study Granth Sahib scripture. At least these are the teaching of the gurus, the true gurus, 10 of them. Continue, at least there are still blessings in there. But that is for his immediate disciples and descendants. Later on, probably it's all diluted already, but still helpful. Like people believe in the Buddha, they know they should not kill, they should not steal, at least something to keep them afloat and not go to hell, not to descend into lower level and suffering, okay? If they keep the precept as the Buddha taught, even now, if they don't kill, they don't steal, they don't lie, I mean, normal people, even if they eat a little meat, but without knowing the vegan stuff, without having hatred or killing instinct in their heart, keep the 5 precepts, they still can be reborn as human, a decent human, have a comfortable life. And if they continue the 5 precepts like that, they will be reborn again as human, decent life, comfortable. So it helps to study the scriptures. And it helps to learn, from the Bible that you have to be good, you have to, fear God and pray to Jesus, etc. It helps them, okay? That's why the 10 Guru of the Sikh tell them, study Granth Sahib. The Granth Sahib is your Guru. What else can he say when he knows there's no more lineage left? But that doesn't mean he stopped there. It could be that one of his disciple or descendants of the disciple continue studying together a little while longer, and it could be that one of the master descend into that lineage afterward, after the 10 Guru passed away. And then he became a master, and then continue the lineage in elsewhere, not in his family lineage. You got that? Because it's like this. In that Sikh system, from the first Guru to the 10th, it ends there. Why is that? Because one of the family member of the master have a very selfish wish. One of the earliest Sikh master has a daughter, yeah? Okay. The Sikh master, they're married, okay? But they don't indulge in, physical sensation the way normal people do. They just sometimes have a corporal contact so that they can have children, okay? It's just tradition to have children. So they have 2 or 3 children, maybe like that. Once a year or twice a year to be together with wife, nothing more. Now, one of the master has a daughter, okay? She was sitting with him. Even if she's a daughter of a master, she always had to sit lower than the master. Even a wife or the mother of the master always sit lower than the guru, all the time, in India like that. That you're not allowed to sit It's just tradition. Out of respect, you don't sit the same height as the master, that's all. Okay, so this daughter, she sat on the ground. And the master of the Sikh at that time, earlier master, yeah? Not the 10th, but before that. And then he sat on his bed to meditate, yes. And the daughter was sitting at his feet on the ground. And somehow the bed was old and one of the legs fell off, okay? So she worried the master will be awakened out of samadhi. She used her hand to hold it all night long. But the nails are pinched into her hand, bleeding, but she still holds it. Such a devotion, okay? So in the morning, the master awakes from samadhi, come back to the physical life, body, and then realize what the daughter has done for him. He felt very, very touched, you know, not just as a master, but as a father as well. Such a filial daughter, of course, who wouldn't like, love? So he said, oh, okay, whatever you wish, I will grant it to you. Normally, master don't say that to anyone, because they just let the disciple develop according to their understanding and karma. The master don't favor any disciple and say, okay, I will grant you wish because I like you. Because you are my daughter, you are my wife, you are my son. No, 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 no. Or you are my favorite disciple, or you give me $1 million, nada. The master treat everyone equally. But because he was so touched, he came out of a pure meditation samadhi all night long. So his mind is still so pure. He also forget the rule, yeah? And he was touched by his daughter's devotion. Sit all night with a nail in her, deep in her hand and bleeding, just to keep him in samadhi. Because she knows the master meditates is very important for the disciples, for the world. So she sacrificed, sit like that instead of the leg of the bed. And then the master just saw that and so very touched. He said, okay, whatever wish you have, I will grant it. Master really never says such thing, okay? But it's just a situation like that. And then the daughter said, I have only one wish. That the master lineage stay in the family. Oh, man. That is very selfish. You cannot do that. The master lineage should be passed on. The master mantle should be passed on to whoever worthy and enlightened and selflessly devoted to humankind, you know, for all beings. Not because a family member. But the master already promised. So he has to hold it, even though he was aghast as her request. Because he can foresee that this selfish wish will bring bloodshed into the Sikhism. At that time, there was no Sikhism of thirst. Not because the master at that time or the first Guru Nanak never proclaimed any Sikhism, no, nothing. He just go barefoot, go from one place to another, teaching people, whoever can have affinity with him or have wisdom to learn. Okay? He never to want to make Sikhism or anything just so people about him. No, no, no. Just happened, okay, afterward. Because the king of that country at that time and his government seek to destroy all the religion and all the preachers like Guru Nanak and his later successor. That's why we had trouble with at that time. So they had to have some kind of defense kind of system for the disciple, and they call him to Sikh and would defend the weak, you know, the brothers and sisters. And therefore at that time to recognize each other as Sikh in separation to others, so that they can recognize each other when they see each other, because they have to practice in secret, okay? Also the disciples scatter everywhere, so they have to have some symbol to recognize. They have symbol, like they have bracelets, and you have your long hair have to wrap up in the cloth, yeah? And your hair have to have a comb, and inside you have a short, what else I forgot? 5 things.
5K.
5K?
Yeah, 5K. Everything starts with K letter, so it's called 5K.
Everything go with K, okay. A comb, bracelets, and...
Knife.
Huh? A knife, a dagger. Underwear. And the underwear short, you know, a short. Like this, so that you... Female and male same, so that you can identify, you know.
And also be ready to go,
Ready to go to defend others. Yeah, that's what it is, okay? Otherwise, normally the disciple don't ever need any knife or anything. But at that time, they're harassing them relentlessly. They want to destroy the master and the sick follower at that time. So they have to just defend themselves, you know, and run. Wow. And nowadays, there remain symbol, you can see him, okay? You see, so even the master daughter and disciple are still that ignorant to wish like that, to wish that the master mantle always remain in the family. Family member not necessarily enlightened or worthy to be a master. She is a good example for that, no? Otherwise she would never ever think of even keep the mantle of mastership in her family. You see that? But the master already promised, so it goes like that. So from then on, their family member inherit the mantle of the Sikhism, as far as if they have son, okay? A daughter, no. I think not at that time, no. So because of that, the Sikhism, from then on up to the 10th master, always there's a bloody battlefield. Always a lot of war and killing and, you know, oppressing from the government, whatever government at that time. The master knew it, but, you know, a master promised you can't go backward. Can go back on that. Whew. Well, I don't have a daughter per se to hold my bed. I have a sofa, it's safer. The sofa is always safe. Even if you fell down, you don't fall too far. Anyway, good. That's why I don't have any daughter, son, or whatever sit next to me. I avoid that in case. But I also don't think we should have any successor. Up to now, not yet, but who knows in the future, maybe. If I have one, I will tell you, okay? On record video. Long years ago, I thought maybe there's one. But then later, because the world changed, the karma changed so much, I don't think it's possible to anyone to handle the matter, you know, up to now. So I have to continue. Okay then. Any more? You want any more stuff? Yes. All right. I think I almost done with that and this subject about the precepts. Let's see if the Buddha say any more. Ananda, if any one of the monks' precept transmitting masters or any one of the other monks practicing with him is not pure, then the Bodhimanda as described will not be successful. Even if you don't sleep for 3 months, even if you're pure, if you find all the white cow and the dung and the grass and the whatever you do, you know, more, the Buddha described more work to do, but I thought, oh yeah, it's impossible, so forget that. I just read some for you, and you already think impossible. Okay. Therefore, the Buddha said, even then, if the bhikkhu, you know, the monk who transmitted the precepts to this ever sincere seeker, if he is not pure, then you're doomed. You just work for nothing. It's that difficult. Not just that, okay, I just don't sleep 3 weeks and I find the cow and I do this and do that. As the Buddha said, then I'm fine. Who knows if the bhikkhu give you the precept is pure or not pure? He could do that maybe because he likes to do it, because he thinks he's pure, because he thinks he's worthy. You know? Who knows? Maybe he thought it's not pure. Therefore, even if you have all that from one of the monks, the other precept to you, you can never be sure. This is the problem. All right, got that? Okay. So after 3 weeks, Buddha's still talking now. After 3 weeks, one sits upright still. Your job not done yet after 3 weeks, okay? Not sleeping, still not. After 3 weeks, one sits upright and still for 100 days more. Oh dear God. Oh. Ay, ay, ay. I thought after 3 weeks it's already kind of, you know, incredible marathon, feast. 3 weeks, non-stop, no sleep, doing all this already. And still sit another 100 days. My God. You should be always choose your birth whenever a living master is born. So that when you grow up, your time, your age, you come of age and you can go and grab this master and quick. Not doing all this. I don't think I can. I honestly tell you, not me, okay? Not 3 weeks non-sleep and doing all this outer performance and 100 more days. How long is 100 days? 3 months? 3 months plus. Okay. Those with sharp faculties will not arise from their seats and will become Srotapatamabana. Yeah, mean one of the maybe non-return. Okay? Right. Although their bodies and minds have not attained the ultimate fruition of sagehood, not yet, not the highest, but already something on the way. Yeah. They know for certain, beyond exaggeration, that they will eventually accomplish Buddhahood. Yeah, they are already on the way after all that in 100 days. You have asked, the Buddha said to Ananda, you have asked how the Bodhi Manda is established. This is the way it is done. Ananda bowed at the Buddha's feet and said, after I left the home life, I rely on the Buddha's affectionate regard because I sought erudition. I still have not been certified to the unconditioned, meaning Buddha has not said that he's already, an arhat. Yeah, I told you. When I encountered that Brahma heaven mantra, I was captured by the deviant spell. Though my mind was aware, I had no power to free myself. You understood?
No.
No, okay. Then I have to use my calendar talk again. What is a Brahma heaven mantra? Ananda went out begging for food. And these prostitutes, because they have magical power in their family, okay? She has magical power also. She used a Brahma heaven mantra, meaning that within the 3 worlds, this is the highest mantra, most powerful. No one can resist. She used that to seduce Ananda. And then he was like, blur and dazed, so he just followed her into bedroom. And then she did what she wanted to do with him until he almost gone. But luckily, because he has been with the Buddha, very close to the Buddha. He was the Buddha's attendant day and night, every day. And he was pure, at least so whenever he was. Yes. And of course, he has been with the Buddha with many incarnations, not just this time. Always being his close attendant or his nearby acquaintance, his family, etc., etc., even in the animals' kingdom. So he remembered the Buddha. Last minute, he prayed, Buddha, please help me. I'm falling. And then the Buddha came. Or he sent. Came and recite other kind of mantra to counter this, to oppose this powerful mantra. Then, of course, Ananda is free and he run back, forget his bowl, food, whatever he want to do, run back. So that's why he said here that when I encounter that Brahma heaven mantra from the prostitute, I was captured by the deviant spell, though my mind was aware, but I had no power to free myself. That powerful. Even a Buddha disciple had to succumb to that power of that spell. Very powerful. Because Brahma heaven is the highest heaven in the three worlds. So if they know that mantra, then I can use it and master it, then no one in the physical body will be able to resist and escape. Lucky for Anand, because he was always with the Buddha, life after life, and always doing good things. With the Buddha or without the Buddha, he was always virtuous, moral, good physical humans, or devas, or animals. So because of that, he can, even in such a dazed situation, mesmerize spirit, he still can remember the Buddha and pray to his master for help. Otherwise, he's doomed, finished. So he said, continue. I had to rely on Manjushri Bodhisattva to liberate me. That means the Buddha sent Manjushri immediately there, and then free Ananda. So he said, although I was blessed by the third come one spiritual mantra of the Buddha's summit and imperceptibly received its strength, I still have not heard it myself. The Buddha sent Manjushri to bring this Buddha summit mantra, much higher than the Brahma heaven mantra, to free Anand. Yes. Although the Buddha told him that, that because of that mantra for Manjushri, so he's free. But he doesn't hear it yet himself. The Manjushri just went there and do it. But of course, inside, just like you recite the 5 holy names inside, and somebody get benefit. But that person know it because you told him, but he never heard it himself. Okay, so same. Ananda said he has not heard that mantra from the Buddha summit. Yes. So I only hope that the greatly compassionate one will proclaim it again to kindly rescue all the cultivators in this assembly and those of the future who undergo the turning wheel, so that they may become liberated in body and mind by relying on the Buddha's secret sounds. Now, at that moment, everyone in the great assembly bowed as one, together at one, just bowed down together, and stood up, waiting to hear the third come one's secret divisions and phrases. At that time, 100 brilliant rays shrank from the mouth of the flesh of the crown of the world honor one's head. 1,000 petal precious lotus arose from amidst those rays. Upon the precious flower sat at the third come one's transformation. From the crown of that Buddha's head, in turn, 10 beams of light shone forth, each composed of 100 rays of precious light. Every one of those glowing rays shone on lands as many as the sands of the 10 Ganges rivers. While throughout empty space there were Vajra secret traces, spirits, each holding aloft a mountain and wielding a pestle. Just to show their power, don't mean much. Okay. At that request, of the Buddha, a secret mantra, all the Vajra god, those who uphold, guarding the Dharma and all those, they already standing ready, each one holding a mountain and a pestle. It's just their position, ready to protect the Dharma, to protect the Buddha's secret teaching. Okay? So they're all ready. The great assembly, gazing upward, felt fearful admiration and sought the Buddha's kind protection. Because when the Buddha protectors are ready in their position, they can destroy anything. Anyone who is not pure, anyone who has a bad intention towards the Buddha or the Buddha's teaching, they are ready. That's why they hold the mountain and pestle, ready to crush anyone, any being who is not respectful, who is not pure. because this is a very sacred, secret mantra. And the Buddha used that to rescue Ananda, and also maybe in the future being. That's why they're all ready to protect it. Yeah? That's why the assembly, who are kind of not yet strong in spiritual position and level, they're so scared, fearful, and they ask the Buddha to protect them, because these are Vajra gods, they are fearful looking, now holding big mountain and pestle ready to attack anyone or crush anyone. So the assembly, not just monks and nuns or bodhisattva, but the assembly with the dragon and those ghosts and demons and all that good ones, and they're still fearful because they know they're not up to anything, up to any standard to protect themselves, in case the Vajra gods want to crush them, because they look too fearful, so big and giant, holding big mountain and pestle, and it's not a small one like the golf stick, yeah, big, you know, and mountain holding, ready. So they seek the Buddha's protection, and single-mindedly they listen as the thirst come one in the light at the invisible appearance on the crown of the Buddha's head, proclaim the spiritual mantra. That spiritual mantra is more than 10 pages long. From 173 to 191. How much is that? More than 10 pages, for sure. Yeah, I was right. You don't need it, okay? Number one, you have your protection, okay? You have your master power protection. Number two, it is translated. It is translated into Chinese phonetic, and I can't guarantee if it works. It might work if you're really sincere, of course, but it's 20 pages long. If you keep reciting it, maybe it works. You want me to recite it? No need, huh? Okay. Whew, it takes a long time to recite. Maybe another time if I have to, okay? If it's good for you. Maybe another time. I will ask the Buddha whether or not I have enough power to recite it for you, okay? Not just the words, but you have to have this kind of inside power to recite it, even if it's translated into just phoneticized Chinese. Got that? Okay. All right. The Buddha praised this secret mantra, okay? Very, very much. But I think we end it here now. Tomorrow we continue. But maybe with the mantra, maybe not. Maybe with the mantra, maybe with another one, because I have promised you something else. I didn't promise a mantra. Imagine, I don't know how long it takes the Manjushri to recite this mantra while Ananda was in the helpless situation. But Manjushri pronounced the mantra probably, quietly, but it affects immediately and wake Ananda out of this bewitched slumber. And Ananda ran back to the Buddha with Mantachi's daughter trailing behind. Wow, what a scene! Huh? What a scenery! It's like movies, yeah. Come back here, and complain to the Buddha. Give Ananda back to me. He is mine. Okay, it's 12 o'clock already. Well, your mind can only take so much at a time. So even though you're interested, you should digest this. And then we continue next day, huh? Tonight I will sleep in a tent like you. I will enjoy it. Fresh air, you know. Thank you for being so polite and generous with your clapping. Your clapping. Okay. Next time, any unnecessary question or not urgent question, please wait until I finish. Okay? It's better for all of you. Okay? You are not alone in the assembly. You are in the midst of 10,000 plus people. Please consider others before you. That is the minimal courtesy and minimal selflessness. Yeah? And if you listen to the teaching of the sage, even from by time gone, it's good for you. Okay? Instead of just thinking of one single question, which it wasn't that important. Wasn't really necessary to us in the middle of that. You should respect the Buddha teaching and continue listening. That's the best, okay? If any question, there is time to ask, okay? Anything to do with the subject is better. To keep it, the energy, you know, clean, pure, concentrated, and blessing flowing. Huh? Next time, remember that, all of you, okay? A good night. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yonder the infant so tender and mild. Holy night, silent night, holy night, silent night. See you tomorrow, okay?圣诞节快乐 Happy Christmas Giáng sinh vui vẻ ，Merry Christmas。Love you， 爱你 ，love love love love，love you，love you love you，love you，love you so much。Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Giáng sinh vui vẻ, phố ở Vai Nạc. Joyous Noel, Joyous Noel, Joyous Noel. Phố ở Vai Nạc. Merry Christmas. Giáng sinh vui vẻ. Năm mới mình giỏi.